Honestly, I don't know how people without faith deal with life. I don't understand how to do it without faith in God.
When I was 24 years old, I had a partial hysterectomy because of endometriosis. It became very apparent to me that I wasn't going to be able to have children. I realized shortly after we adopted Jeremy that my first husband was not going to be a good dad, but I stayed till he was 9 years old.
I was best man at Sheila's nephew's wedding. Later that same evening, at one of Sheila's relatives' house, I was in the pool. Sheila was not. Jeremy and I connected eyes, and without saying a word, we acknowledged what each other was thinking. And he pushed Sheila, I pulled Sheila, and we got her in the pool. And when she came up laughing, I thought, this could be really something interesting. From the beginning of our time together, we just clicked, and we knew that we knew.
I don't know how long it was we had been dating, but he went to leave my apartment one night, and as he's going out the door, I said, "Hey, Terry," and he said, "What?" And I got scared, and I said, "Nothing," and he said, "Me too."
And so to this day, we sign our cards to each other, and we can even just say, "Me too," and it means the world to us. Being a stepfather, I would have to say, is one of the two most challenging and difficult jobs that I've encountered. It wasn't easy. There were tears. There were fights. But somehow or another, at the end of the day, no matter what arguments or words were said, we had each other.
Jeremy was a very bright child. He could do anything he put his mind to, pretty much. His senior year in high school, he was struggling. He had started hanging around with some kids that he didn't normally hang around with, and it got kind of ugly. He just wasn't happy, and we couldn't make him happy. He ended up getting in trouble, and we had to call the police. And it was not something that we ever imagined we would be doing.
There were times we questioned whether our relationship was going to endure the challenge of this blended family.
Terry and I actually were going to counseling. It was very helpful. But if we hadn't had faith in God, we wouldn't have survived it. Our relationship would have been gone.
Honestly, I don't know how people without faith deal with life crisis like this. We're all in this together, like it or not. I don't understand how to do it without faith in God.
As Jeremy got older, obviously we had to let go.
You don't always approve of the choices they make, but you're still there for them and you continue loving them. And it actually helped bring us closer together.
Jeremy called me and said, "Mama, I've met somebody really great." Jeremy and Leslie got married. Later on had Violet, our first granddaughter. We, got to bring the kids home about once a month with us. We'd go into Chicago and pick them up, and life was pretty dandy. My phone buzzed, and I picked it up. Leslie said Jeremy had a heart attack. Leslie was crying, and I said, she couldn't talk, and I said, "Tell me, is he okay? Is he okay?" And when she finally got a breath, she said, "He died." And I just started screaming, "No, God, no! God, no!" So easy to see how people lose themselves when they lose somebody they love. It's easy to give up. It's hard to survive.
In May of 2014, Sheila's first sibling died. Then Jeremy died.
Within that next year, we lost 21 family members and friends.
Thus began a couple of months of us being really mad at God.
My niece, Lisa, Andrea, called me and told me that GCC was going to offer grief share. And I said, I don't think I'll be going to that. And then Terry decided that he asked me one day when it was starting, and I said, next Monday. Why? And he said, I'm going to go. I cried through every single session for the first 13 weeks. It was okay. Everybody there understood because they were going through the same thing.
With the value that we received from Grief Share, we continue to be involved in every session as it's offered at church, because we now believe that through our loss, we can help others who are grieving and maybe help them through that journey.
It's our way of making something good out of something bad.
With all of those deaths, including our own son, it taught us that we all belong to God. Our children are on loan from God.
We've learned how strong we are. We've learned how strong our relationship is. Somehow God always takes all the things, all the bad things, and turns them into something we can use for good. And we're so glad to do that.